Are you in an organization that's already done visual management because we've got some floor tape on the shop floor? Hey, it's week 18, time for another business checkup, and this week we're talking about visual management. Although we can point a lot of times to tools, things like 5S and floor tape, or performance boards, or day-by-hour charts, I want to back up and talk about more visual management as a concept rather than throwing tools at it first of all. So visual management is a concept used in lean and lean management to make the process more transparent. What we want to focus on is making sure that, one, we can guide the process so we know how to do it correctly. Do we have everything we need to start? What is the proper sequence of the operation? What is the flow of materials or information through that process? And then secondly, it helps us identify abnormalities. So when something is missing or something is off track or something is late, we're able to quickly see, and it's transparent for the entire team, that something is not going correctly. And then lastly, it helps empower the team and promote ownership. By having that transparency, I can see when something's wrong and I know when to take action. I can tailor the use of specific tools now to meet the intent of the principle of visualization, and the team can be empowered to say what tools, how do we want to show that our process is performing. Now, I will categorize some of the tools we use into 3 levels of hierarchy. And it's important when we apply these that we are building on top of each other. So the first one is workplace standards. So this is things like 5S and signage. Maybe you're familiar with things like floor markings. Can also be in a transactional environment, things like process documentation. Now, once we have that and it's clear what is supposed to happen, we can build visual displays on top of that. So visual displays now give us things like status or signboards, maybe job aids that help us transact the process or know what to do next within the flow. And then the top layer is visual controls. So these are things that help us mistake proof, or the use of things like andon signals to let us know when we're off track, or kanban, or when we need to take action and start a certain process. Now what's interesting is if we jump in at a higher level, the process is unstable without the foundation built beneath it. So we need to have clearly articulated standards, then we can start to display performance, and then we can control the process to prevent mistakes from happening. So as you think about applying the principle of visualization in your business, the first thing you need to do is understand the process. Get in there and see what is happening and what is supposed to happen so that we can create a standard and a foundation around that. That enables us, for key point number 2, to build up from the bottom, understanding the standard, then thinking about status, and then thinking about controlling or mistake-proofing the process. Now, once we understand the work and we can build those visuals from bottom up, then you can review information with impacted stakeholders to make sure you're measuring the right things for up and downstream partners. The last thing is to continuously improve. By applying these principles and reviewing when you're on and off track, the team can be empowered to evolve their standards and where we need more controls or more flexibility, and adopt the tools that best fit that need. So I encourage you in the business to make your processes more transparent, more visual. But don't lead with tools, lead with principles. How do we clearly articulate the standard? How then do we display status? And then how do we mistake-proof the process? We'll see you next week.